What's going on, y'all? Hopping back in. Got another video. I just got smacked by a big old bug, dude. Holy cow. The thing just tore up my knee. I'm probably covered in guts right now. That sucks. What's going on? I'm out here 8 o'clock on this beautiful morning. Forecast said sunny, beautiful skies. Those are some nasty looking clouds up ahead. But whatever. We're not scared of a little bit of rain. We actually are. Just a little bit. Heading to church right now. I've got work right after. And then I'm back to church right after work. So, actually, we are scared of a little bit of rain today. If it were any other day where I've got nothing going on, I would not care. Wanted to spin up a quick video. I got nothing planned, nothing going on. Nothing really to talk about except something that kind of interests me. Have gotten a couple of comments asking, oh, should I do the R3? Should I do the R7? Blah, blah, blah. A lot of folks asking me why I got the R3 specifically, which I did make a video detailing why I got rid of my other motorcycles, and I do believe in that. I briefly touched on why I picked out the R3. Still haven't gone too in depth about it, but I'm sure that will be coming up. I want to be a little bit less impromptu for that video. But lots of folks always asking me, should I get the R7? Should I get should I get an R3? Should I get an R9? Not really. Most people know, should I get an R7 or an R3? What is the preferred starter bike? And on one hand, I really do think, as a more experienced rider, I think that's a slightly silly question to ask, because, once you're riding a bike, especially once you're pretty experienced riding a bike, you understand that nobody can answer that question for you. I was told constantly when I was shopping for my first bike, when I was shopping for my second bike, and after I bought this motorcycle, constantly told, oh my god, dude, sport bikes are the worst, you're gonna be miserable, you're so big and tall, you're gonna hate it, dude, all this and that. But the first two goes around, I believed them, and I avoided sport bikes. But now you can see me on this. I've been putting so many miles on this thing that it's just not true. At no point have I been unhappy with the comfort and experience of riding this. Now, that's mainly for comfort and the ergonomics of the bike. But generally speaking, when most people ask, oh, what should my first bike be? Generally speaking, they are primarily referring to the engine size. They want to know, is this too much engine for me? And the answer, unfortunately, is most of the time, I don't know. I don't know what's too much or too little for you. It's completely subjective. It's completely subjective. It completely comes down to how your mindset is when you are on a bike, how reliable or how responsible you can be. So no, I think in my recommendations I'll say, you know, this is probably the better option for you, or this might be better for you, you might be happier with this, but you gotta go try it out for yourself. And the safest bet is to always start small and work your way up, because if you are a guy like me, a very big guy, I probably could have started on a middleweight super sport. I think I definitely could have started on a 636 or an R6, or, you know, God forbid, a Gixxer. It definitely would have worked out for me. I'm a very cautious, conservative rider, so having a lot of horsepower is not something oftentimes that tempts me, and it's not something that intimidates me. I've had high horsepower cars, and, you know, on some stretches of road, yeah, I'll give it some gas, but, you know, when I've had the car for a week or two, then no, I'm not doing crazy stuff like that. So it all comes down to you and knowing yourself and who you are. If you know you're the reckless type, then, you know, let's start on that R3, dude. Start on one of these. You'll have plenty of power. You got plenty of gas. You'll be fine. You know, people say, oh, you get bored after a few months. Well, that probably just means that you're not, you know, you're not pushing the bike to its limits. You know, if you just want straight line speed, then yeah, you're gonna get bored on an R3 pretty dang quick. It tops out at a pretty low speed, and I'll admit that's not the best. So what do? I go onto the back roads, I go onto the twisties, I go up to the mountains, and I, you know, take advantage of the fact that I have a lightweight sport bike. Yeah, it may not it may not go up to 170 miles per hour, but if I'm taking these crazy corners in the twisties, why does that matter? I don't need to be going that fast. I gotta, you know, become a better rider on those parts, become a better track rider. So, you know, asking people what's best for me, what's blah blah blah, you know, I can't make that decision for you. Only you know yourself that well. So if you think you can be responsible, you know, I still say 636 and stuff like that. The power band is so funky on inline fours that I would not, you know, recommend that as a true first bike. If you've ridden before, dirt bikes, motorcycles, whatever, but, you know, you've never owned your own, or you're just getting your license, then maybe you could handle a 600, but I'd say stick to like an R7, you know, Z900, something like that. You'll be fine. You got plenty of time, all the time in the world to upgrade your bike. Have fun with what you got. God bless you. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.